Hey, Kelty, I'm so glad you're here and so grateful that you're willing to just like share your story with us. It's so fun.
I am so honored that you asked me to be here. I cannot thank you enough. I'm super excited to share my journey with everybody.
Hey, that's so awesome. Okay, so fun. Okay, I want you to introduce yourself first. Like Kelty and I have known each other for many years, like a long time. But I want to hear kind of who's Kelty? What's a little bit of your story?
I always find that such an interesting question. And I think like a year ago, I would have just spewed off all of this stuff. And now I'm like still learning who I am. So my name is Kelty Stout. Um, I don't know, when I describe me, I like to use words like joy. I love joy. I think there is nothing better in the world than joy. I love trees and nature and getting back out to kind of like where we came from. I would say that I'm a fairly have been like a fairly positive person throughout my life. I'm someone that I kind of chose to enjoy whatever. I make the best out of wherever I am. And I'm an animal lover. I have a farm that I run, and um, it's really interesting. But actually, back in 2013, so this just kind of goes to what Jocelyn is teaching. This is like a really good story because back in 2013, I was in this corporate world. I was in this corporate job, and I was like, this doesn't feel like me. I don't really think that I'm like the corporate type person, even though that's where everyone told me you should be because you're good with people, go work with people. So I did what everyone told me I should do. And I was like, this is not me. I don't want to be here. I'm going to move on. And so interestingly enough, I got into a snowboarding accident, got a brain injury, and had to leave the corporate world. And it's like I wanted to, I just couldn't take that step, but I was telling the universe what I wanted, and the universe said yes. I did not say I would like to do this brain injury free or anything like that. So, anyways, it switched my world upside down, and I went from corporate world to being a farmer, which is like the best thing that ever happened to me. And from there, I've just been like rediscovering who I am and what I want in life. And I tell you, sometimes knowing what you want in life is the hard part.
Gosh, I love that, Kelty. Oh wow. Isn't it interesting? Like we gotta watch. We're so powerful. Watch your words. Like I've heard countless stories of people that are like, well, this is what I wanted, and this is how it came to me indirectly, like really intensely. Just like me, kind of, right? With the car accident. I'm so grateful it
Absolutely.
wasn't worse, but it was like I was asking and I wasn't actually deciding. That's the thing. It's like I wasn't actually deciding. You weren't actually deciding I'm leaving the corporate world. It's just, yeah, needed to
But
happen.
I was telling the universe exactly what I wanted, and it gave me exactly what
Deliver.
I wanted.
They deliver every time.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that kind of goes into like where were you before joining Rise? So I want to first, I guess, talk about which course did you take with Rise Academy, and like I want to hear your biggest shifts. Where were you before? Kind of where were you after?
Right. So I did take the default by design course, which I highly recommend. I think it was an amazing course. And I will say that I'm the type of person that has always been kind of searching for this kind of stuff. So I've taken course after course after course. And I will say default by design really catapulted me for like it was the best course, the best bang for my buck. And all of these other courses kind of sent me here and sent me here. And this one just like slingshotted me into my future. It was absolutely amazing. Um, I a little bit about where I was before I took the course. I would say I was in a good spot. But I was just kind of going along with life, and I was in a good spot because I naturally have good thoughts and I naturally think about good things, and but I was just kind of going along with life, and life was happening to me, and I didn't really understand, how much power I had. Um, but I wanted more. I was in a good spot, but I wanted more. I wanted more joy in my life. I wanted more love in my life. I wanted more money, more freedom, more hugs, more travel. Like I wanted more. And I was kind of unhappily married, and the people in my life kept telling me, "What? How dare you want? Who are you to want more? How dare you want more?" And it wasn't that I wasn't grateful. I mean, I wake up. I live in paradise. I wake up every morning and I'm like, I feel so blessed. And I felt like I wanted more. I felt like I deserved more, but I was in a world of people saying, you don't, no, you don't need more. This is all you get. This is enough. And I felt like there's got to be more out there. Um, and so I think some of the biggest like aha moments from the vibe design is if I want more, I get to have more. I can have whatever I want. I can have, be, do whatever I want in my life. And I get to choose what I want in my life. And Jocelyn taught us kind of that what we focus on, we get more of, which I found really interesting because then I sort of became aware. And we talk about awareness being super important. And And so then, like, I was seeing evidence of where I was. I felt really wealthy and I would see evidence everywhere of wealth. And I felt super blessed and lucky. And everywhere I went, good things would happen to me. However, I will say before this course, my thoughts were controlling my life, but I was not controlling my thoughts. So thankfully, I had naturally good thoughts and good things were happening to me. But then I was like, oh, and I guess like I learned about momentum. So, sometimes you're going through the day and you're having a good day, but then something happens. And you're like, oh man, that sucked. And then this sucks. And then that sucks. And by the time you get to the end of the day, you've had the worst day and you've got this momentum built up. And Jocelyn taught me that I can stop the momentum. I can stop and go, you know what? I get to choose what I want. I get to choose my feelings. I get to choose my thoughts. So, I guess like one of the biggest things is that now, like I was walking around life, letting life determine, I'd see this and be like, oh, and have thoughts about that. And I would see over here and have thoughts about that. And now I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm just more of an observer and I'm not giving my emotion to the things that I'm seeing. And I stop and ask myself, what is it that I want to think? Like what, and so I'll get into like a bit of a I'm feeling down or something happens and then I'm feeling sad and I'm like, well, I don't want to feel this way. So I stop and think, how do I want to feel? And for me, like I love trees. So it's a easy for me to think about trees. I love trees. I love the way they sway. I love the way some are leafy, they dance together. They provide warmth. Like I just love everything. So I start thinking about trees and it just like switches my whole day around. And then I get the momentum of all the positive, all the happy stuff. So that's really interesting. And I had mentioned before that I was unhappily married. And so one of the things that I did realize from my course was that I didn't have to stay in an unhappy marriage. I got the choice. So it's very interesting because my husband and I are still married, we're still together, and we've kind of worked out this like, let's like use the land together. Let's let's do things together. And so I would say I'm happily married now and in a different kind of way. It's very interesting. Like, but it's just like amazing once I became aware of what I was thinking, what I was doing, what I was calling into my life, and then seeing evidence of like all of this stuff showing up and then realizing I have a choice. So then it's been really interesting because I've been walking around and in my mind, like I go to bed at night and I'm in a different bedroom and I'm like walking around in my life, but it's like it's hard to explain, but like in my imagination, there's
You
more
know.
going on that other people can't see. And it feels so good. So I think you have another question and I'll stop right there. I could go on and on and on.
That's amazing. Thank you, Kelty. And I love that you said, like, in the beginning, I was in an unhappy relationship and an unhappy marriage, and now I am in a happy marriage, right? Because it's a change in perception. So many people, so many of us, like, and I mean, like, we're all guilty of it from time to time. It's really easy to point fingers, but it's them that's the problem. But it's honestly, we create a reality. Okay. And yeah, true. Like if we really truly unpack and learn more about ourselves and realize they're not our person, there's nothing wrong with that either. But what if we can actually see them different and work
That's the
differently with
thing.
them?
And nothing has changed. I
Beautiful.
mean, my husband has not had to make one single shift in who he is. And however, with me shifting in who I am, it's kind of like impacted him, and it's had this ripple effect. And you know, like, you know, will we stay together forever? We don't know at this point, but we're in this really good flow of like, you know, these are my ideas and I'm going to support you. And so like I said, nothing, I didn't go to him and be like, well, you have to change.
Yeah.
I changed the way I thought about him, the way I saw him in my mind, the way I talked about him, and it really made all the difference in the world.
Isn't that incredible? So that also you have listened to or read The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard, right? That is,
That honestly shifted my life so much. And actually, that brought up the most important shift. Okay. So I can't believe I almost forgot about it. So, the power of awareness. Okay, so story time. When I was younger, like 10 years old, I had a family member that would tell me that I was fat and disgusting, and no guy would ever love me. And I was told that I was fat and disgusting every day of my life from the time I was like 10 till the time I was 18. So I had this view of myself that I was like fat and not worthy and ugly, and it's crazy. And I like literally held on to this thought and this belief, and it was so ingrained in who I was. Like I was not a pretty person. I was not someone who loved myself, cared. I ate horribly because I didn't care about myself. Anyways, it was crazy. Like this shift has been the most amazing shift because I started looking in the mirror and changing my story. And in that power of awareness, he said something like, don't let other people tell you who you are. Claim who you are. Decide who you are and claim it. And I was like, oh, I don't have to hold on to that thought that somebody else put in my brain that dictated my whole entire life up until this moment. I was like, okay, so if that's not what I want to think, what do I want to think? So I started looking in the mirror and I started looking in my eyes and telling myself, like, I love you. I think you are so beautiful. And this is like the most craziest journey because now I look at myself and I'm like, oh my God, I must have lost 50 pounds. And I weigh myself and I measure myself and I'm still the same weight and I'm still the same size, but I feel so much better. And like literally this, I'm 42 years old. So for 32 years of my life, I did not love myself. And so then it was a spiral because anytime I wasn't, you know, how I thought I should be in my mind, it was just like, you are the most horrible, and this spiral down. And oh my gosh. And now it's like, if I'm having a bad day, I'm like, girl, I love you so much. If you need to just go sit on the couch, guilt free, go sit on the couch, guilt free. I don't hold guilt about not doing. I'm able to be in that feminine of just being. And of course, like other things, right? Like, I'm sure a lot of you grew up in the same era as I did, where on a Saturday morning, my dad would come into my room at 7 a.m. if I wasn't awake. And, oh my God, you're so lazy. Get up and get out of bed and do stuff. So then if I wasn't doing something in my life, I was holding on to guilt for, you know, because I should be doing something else. And now this like pure love for myself, like it has shifted. And because I love myself, I am like quiet enough to connect to my higher self. And then like my higher self thinks I am like the best thing in the whole entire world. And then I'm like, this goes way beyond, but I'm telling you, you guys, Jocelyn taught me all of this. But like, I look at other people now and I see myself and I'm able to love them in a way that I never did before. I'm able to look at the world and like all of the good and all of the bad and love all of the parts of the world because I love all of me, the good
yeah,
and the bad.
oh,
And I used to try to change the bad. I used to be like, this part of me I don't like. I'm trying to get rid of it. You know what? It's a part of me. It is a part of me. I'm not going to get rid of it. So like I just chose to love it instead. I'm getting goosebumps. Like my
yeah,
whole life
it's
has changed
like
so
that.
dramatically just in that one thing of loving myself and seeing that I'm worthy. It's amazing. And wait till you hear all the other stuff I have going on in my life now.
Oh my gosh. Hey, thank you, Kelty. But this is really what we've been talking about today is embodying this new idea and this new identity. And like Kelty said, like it's realizing that I don't need to wait for the universe or sorry, the reality to tell me who I am or how I am, right? Or what I am worth. I get to choose that. And then the universe will actually reflect it back. So Kelty, with her loving herself, now she's more lovable. She's open to receive more love, more compliments, more opportunity to just be, right? It's such a difference. Okay, so Kelty, what's next? What's next for you?
Yeah. So, this was really interesting, and I was like debating on bringing this up, but I thought, no, I'm just gonna be like totally transparent. So, I've had two dreams since I was 20 years old, and one of them was to win the lottery. So, after doing this program, I was like, that's it, I'm gonna win the lottery. And I've like walk around and like in my mind, I'm like, this 60 millionaire, and it's been amazing and lovely and I'm wonderful. And then, like, at some point, I was like talking to myself about, what is it that I want? Da, 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 da. And then I realized, and I had to be very honest with myself, it's not about the money. It is
Yeah.
not about the money. It never has been about the money. And it took me a couple months to get there, but it was about the things that the money brings. So it was about one of the things I thought, well, when I have all this money, I'm going to impart all this wisdom I have on people because I'm so wise and all powerful and all loving that I have so much to share. And I'm going to have this like retreat. And when I win the lottery, I'm going to do this. And when I win the lottery, I'm going to do that. And then like I had one day I sat and I talked to myself and I was like, let's be honest. Like, let's be honest. Is it really about winning? Because I had convinced myself it was about winning the lottery. Really, I was like, no, it's not. It's about doing the things. It's about affording the things. It's about the freedom. It's about the joy that it brings. Like these are what I really, really want in my life. So I had to be fully honest. It took me a few months to get there, but I learned that lesson. And so then it was like, okay, but I still love the idea of having the money. So I'm still walking around and the second thing I dream I had since I was in my 20s was to have a retreat center. And I had kind of forgotten about it, but not really. I mean, it was like that when I got the money, that's what I was going to do. I was going to create a retreat center. And I live on this 130 beautiful acres in the Rocky Mountains with the most beautiful view. And I'm like meditating one day and I'm sitting there and I was like, why wait? Why wait?
Exactly.
I wait until I have the money to do the thing that I want. So this is what's next. I am so excited. I've hired a retreat alchemist, and I've decided that I'm going to host retreats on my property. And it's like my dream come true. It really is. Besides winning the lottery, this was my ultimate dream. When I was 20, it was yurts. I really wanted yurts, and it was something that I always thought I'll do it when the resources are there. I'll do it when, when I have more to teach, when I'm wiser, when I'm da da da. And I'm sitting there meditating one day and I thought about it and I thought, why wait? I can set up tents. I can put beds in the tents. And the whole thing about coming to my program is to like reset our nervous systems because the world is so crazy right now and we can't grow no matter how many courses we take from Jocelyn. That's why she taps because if our nervous systems aren't in a good place, we can't grow. So I've got this dream and I'm making it happen and I'm so excited for it.
Amazing. Oh my God.
I know. And I swear,
Happy
like,
to
it's
hear
all
that.
because of you, because I was like, why wait? And I thought,
Oh,
if I
yes.
wait until I have the infrastructure, I'm never going to do it.
Yeah.
So I've hired the retreat alchemist who's helping
Yay.
me. I've got plans for my property. I'm really, really excited about it. I'm trying to figure out what to do about the grizzly bears. I think they won't bother us, but we'll figure that all out. Like we are like right in the middle of
That's
building it.
secondary.
Right. I'm not worried about it. So I'm over the moon excited. I have my husband's full support. Like he sees the dream.
Oh,
He believes in me, which I must tell you, before my course, he did not believe in me because I didn't believe in myself.
so
So now that I believe in myself, he believes in me and he's willing to finance this and he's willing to help me. Like and I can see like where it's going and that it's going to be this beautiful like retreat center where other people can come and have the retreats. And I'm telling you, if it was not for your course, I would not be here.
thank you, Kelty.
The other thing, the last thing I will say about that is I didn't realize how important it was to do the work. And I've always heard people say you got to do the work, and I didn't know what the work was until I met Jocelyn. And now I'm like, oh,
Yes.
and I think work is the wrong word because it doesn't feel hard, but it's not what we're used to. So like journaling every day was not something I was used to, but now that I've been doing it, I can't imagine life without it. But that's part of the work. Um, doing your meditations, quieting yourself, and so that you can hear yourself and drown out the world. That's part of the work. It's easy. It's fun. Like this is the biggest thing I like to say to people now, and I never understood before. If you don't do the work, you won't get there, but the work is easy and it's fun and it can be so enjoyable. And look at Jocelyn, look at her glow, look how happy she is.
Thank you, Kelty. Oh my God, it's so exciting. That is all so exciting. Okay, I just gotta just echo what Kelty said one time here is that like when we are in the linear mind of this is how it should be, and I need to figure it out, I need to wait until the money comes. Like you said, you're never gonna get there. This is what we talked about today, is the embodiment is the biggest piece. It's the most important part. It's asking ourselves, who do I need to be? Who do I need to be now? And we start moving differently, we take different action, and that's a logical action. I can't even say loud enough. Like it's illogical action. And we take action right now because that's how we create it. Okay, that's how it starts to happen. And all of a sudden, look, we found a retreat alchemist who's going to support it. Look, my partner now has the support, or I have the support of my partner because he believes in me, because I believe in me. All of these, right? So this is so, so important. Thank you so much for sharing. And oh my gosh, I can't wait to see this unfold. I had no idea
I
that
know,
this
I hadn't told you yet, so I was like really, I was like, do I tell her? I'm like, no, I'll just share it with her
it's
live in front
perfect,
of everybody. I'm
perfect
really
timing.
excited.
Oh
And
my
it
gosh.
just goes back to who I was and who my dream before everyone told me who I'm supposed to be, and now like I'm super excited and to the point where another girl reached out and was like, I want to come host at your retreat center. I'm like, perfect. I've got other people that want to come host here. And I'm like, perfect. This is amazing. And everything's falling into place. And I like, I just, the words, I don't even have the words to describe how amazing it's been. And I will say, I was walking around for quite a while. Well, I took your program in December, I believe, November, December. So December, January, February, March, I've been walking around in this dream world, completely delusional. And like my very close, like my mom lives on the property, my husband and like my best friend were like, thank God, because I know Jocelyn says don't tell anyone. And I did tell these three people, and like they were supportive of me, but like they were super supportive of my delusions. And I was literally walking around delusional. And in this, I was in a totally different world. Like I sometimes I was like shocked back to what's going on? Like what are we doing here? And like look where it's gotten me. Now I'm on the road to like having this stuff. It's not the exact dream I had, but it's on the way to it. And it's probably even better than I could have ever dreamt.
That's exactly it. And that's the piece that we need to remember. It's like this release, it's preference versus requirement. And it's just like our human mind can't even dream up like that level, right? It can't. Like we just need to, that's why it's so important to let go, right? I love that. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kelty. You are such a gift and you're so powerful. Like you are someone who takes the material and the information and integrates it. Embodiment is so, so, so valuable. So you embody it, and that's why it happens so quickly for you. So that's really unique. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. If you had some, a couple words to say to someone who is sitting here thinking, should I join a RISE program or not? What do you say?
Oh
Okay.
my gosh, like you will not be disappointed. And if you hang out with this girl long enough, you're gonna start believing in yourself and you're gonna start getting like these ideas that you didn't even know were possible in the world. And like I think the price was perfect. It was so worth it. And I think Jocelyn just sets you up for success every step of the way. And really, like you really hang on to the words that she says, you're gonna go somewhere in life. Like it's just absolutely amazing. And I will say that our egos get in the way. And a lot of times, if you're trying to better yourself, sometimes our ego will stop and say, no, no, don't do that. You're fine where you are. And my advice is to ignore your ego. Totally ignore it. It was good at one point in time. It's not really good anymore. And go for it. I promise you, you will be a better person on the other side of any course that you decide to take with
Oh,
Jocelyn.
thank you. You're amazing, Kelty. I'm so grateful that you were here and to taking the time to chat with us and share experience. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it. Share everything with me. Send me
Yes, I
pictures as you start to get set up and like I can't even wait. Okay.
will.
Thank you so much, Kelty. Have a
Thank you
beautiful
for having
day.
me.
See
Talk to
you
you
soon.
later.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.